As part of our WorldMobile episode lineup, we're planning on bringing guests and go through some mini interviews just to gauge different perspective and hopefully for myself and all of you to gain some valuable knowledge in the WorldMobile's testnet. Now, I want to keep the videos relatively short and easily digestible for everyone. However, if you want us to do longer videos, please leave a comment below. Now, if you didn't have the time to go over the first episode, I will have the link below for a quick 10-minute spin-up into the EarthNode basics. Now, with no further ado, let's introduce our guests for today's episode. Now, let's go and hear Paddy and Alex on their experience on the closed WorldMobile testnet so far. Paddy, let's start with you. If you want to give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, my name is Paddy, and I am the operator on Cardano of the Shamrock state pool. Obviously, I've invested in the WorldMobile EarthNode. Been operating on the private testnet for quite a while, breaking stuff, getting things going, setting up my multiple nodes, setting up sentries and relays, and making sure everything that I'm going to do for my setup is working. But on the other side of it, I have been working on the WorldMobile Explorer sort of site to allow people to see all the nodes, few transactions.
Alex, what about yourself?
My name is Alex, and I'm also a Cardano SPO. I'm an operator behind the Chef pool. I've been also part in the private testnet early on, also breaking a lot of things. I've been trying out different setups, different operating systems. I tried the cloud version setup, tried the bare metal setup, sentries, and the goal of that was to kind of create documentation and have everything ready for people that are not technical savvy.
Paddy, were you surprised to be selected as one of the first DNOs for the closed testnet? And if you don't mind telling us a little bit about your background as well.
I don't know if I was surprised. I was just really hoping that I would have been chosen so that I could get things going. But, and to give everybody a bit of peace of mind, they didn't miss an awful lot. There's no real advantages that have been given, that's going to affect anything down the line. The public testnet will be fine, and there's still a long road for that, for people to learn everything before me and that. So my background is a software engineer, so a lot of development and everything really that you can ever imagine. Also using Linux a lot, so it's quite easy for me to do a lot of the setups that are there, and it becomes sort of second nature.
Alex, I do know a lot about your background, but if you don't mind sharing that with our audience as well.
Basically, my background is not on the software side like Paddy. I'm the hardware guy. So have a bachelor's degree in computer science, lots of hardware stuff. I'm a telecom guy as well. My paper was on networks and telecommunications. I guess that gives me a little bit of edge when it comes down to understanding the entire infrastructure, what WorldMobile is going for. I've worked in some big corporations in Greece and also in Canada, where we live right now. And I've been on it for about 14 years. So I think that's a good enough experience when it comes down to that.
Paddy, if I may ask you, what was the onboarding process? Was there anything difficult that you found, any challenges, or was it like pretty straightforward?
For me, it was, I don't think there was many major problems. It is pretty straightforward. It's not overly complex. I think I just made it complex myself by changing things and tweaking things and messing with properties and variables and loads of other things that maybe I shouldn't have done. But I gotta figure out what they do. Most people won't need to know what they do. And installation will be fine, and the setup will work. Sort of out of the box, if you want to say that. Yeah, I would say no issues in terms of anything blocking. Especially for me, I'd seen a few people having a few issues, but I would say it's maybe down to your operating system version. I've seen some where I think Ubuntu 22.04 has to be there. So just recommend people to do that first. But apart from that, it's been fine. And for me, it's great. Testnet's up and running.
Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good to hear. Alex, what about yourself?
I think it was very welcoming, to be honest with you. Getting like there was a personalized email from Antonio with lots of instructions and videos and how to, and you jump on those, and then you realize like, okay, Cosmos SDK, Tendermint Core. Oh my God, I'm used to Cardano, the Cardano world where there's none of that plays a role in there, and you're like, okay, I need to start reading and I need to educate myself, because I guess that's me. I wanted to know more. Like Paddy, I wanted to break things. Like, yes, the installation was fairly simple, but what's the fun in that? Typing 2 commands, install that? No. Like, okay, I want to be the person that has absolutely no knowledge in Linux or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna break it. Like, how can someone break it? And just by pressing a wrong button on your keyboard, you could actually break the installation, and you would be like in an infinite loop, thinking, okay, I'm syncing forever, and I will never get out of that loop. So yeah, you can easily break it. Okay, what else can we do? And I've tried, like I said before, different operating systems because I wanted to see if it's stable. And they recommend the 22.04 version on Linux of Ubuntu, but I tried it with earlier versions. It was finicky with some, it was working with others. So it's like different things that someone, again, with no knowledge could potentially do something like that. And if they don't know what's happening, maybe we can be helping out the community and other node operators and give them some answers.
So you mentioned some of the buzzwords that are going around on the community right now: Cosmos SDK, Tendermint Core. People, especially when we saw those words coming out, everybody was, the FUD was going on. They're using a different blockchain, not Cardano. Like, what was the experience, Paddy? Is this something crazy hard to learn or to use? Give me a little bit of a background there.
I can perfectly understand the reason why to choose the Cosmos SDK, and I will sort of give my interpretation. You can imagine the amount of transactions that are going to be coming through the WorldMobile network, and try and envisage the value in each transaction. Most of them, the vast majority, will be pretty small in terms of transactions going through, and it's very unlikely that they would have even cost the amount that a transaction cost on the Cardano mainnet. So that just wouldn't have been financially feasible. So you would have been charging people maybe more than they would have been getting taken out of their account or their balance or whatever they're going to be charging them. So it's just not feasible. Plus, the other side of it is the how often there's a block, and the processing that and the road to finality, so that the transaction is processed. It needs to be near enough as quickly as possible. So Cardano is 20 seconds. So on this sidechain, the Cosmos variant, it's 5. So it's a lot quicker. It's not. It doesn't mean that this blockchain is faster than Cardano. It just means that it processes it down to the final transaction a bit quicker. Like Cardano can do a lot more in terms of transactions. So it's, before people say, "Oh, Paddy said that it's not as fast or it's not capable of processing," it is. It's just a different process. And we can probably do another video on the technicals of that. But for me, the FUD, you've seen the FUD and people were saying, "Oh, it's not on Cardano, blah, blah," but it is, All of the NFT processes, all of the identification process for the current guys like myself and you guys, the Earth node operators, is coming from there. The security is coming from Cardano and the verification of our NFTs as Earth node operators. So that's one integration, and there's going to be multiple more and other things that are going to come across. So plus also the tokens, Cardano is going to be the token holder, and the staking is going to be replicated across into the sidechain. So, there's two parts of it. So we're taking two big things out that we won't be sort of inheriting from Cosmos right away. And I would say in the long run, it's actually a good thing, and it will probably give other people like their ideas of what they want to do with further integrations. Not everything needs to run on the main chain. Most scenarios like this, high transactions that are of low value, isn't suited for the Cardano main chain, and that's just the way it is.
So from my understanding, combining, Cardano's protocol and all the crazy features that we get, plus the Cosmos SDK framework that WorldMobile is using right now, it's actually a great combination, and it helps us, get better results. So like you said, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing that we're using different technologies and different frameworks to actually have a way better result. Alex, what's your take on that?
As Paddy said, there's lots of stuff happening in the Cardano. Without Cardano, you can't have the WorldMobile chain. So the financial settlement for every transaction will happen in Cardano. So you take the technology from like different technologies and you blend them. I think that's a very forward thinking. And we shouldn't say, oh, Cardano is the ultimate, the only thing that exists. Absolutely, technologically, very, very far advanced. It's very good fundamental security, the protocols and everything. But there are other technologies out there which we can benefit from. Why not use them? And that's what WorldMobile team did. And again, that's my take on things. And they blended this. Of course, they're still working with IOHK very closely to expedite things. I believe they're expediting processes that probably would have taken more years. But because WorldMobile is such a huge project and very ambitious, I think it's a good thing to bring a technology from outside because it enables IOHK to work faster in different projects that they probably had sitting in the back burner. And bringing that forward, I think we will have a more complete solution if you want.
Like a good cocktail of different technologies that are going to make WorldMobile, give its best solution right now. I have a last question for you. Paddy, I will start with you. What is an advice that you would like to give to all the EarthNode operators that are joining in the public testnet? Maybe guide them through for like reading documentation and whatnot.
Yeah, so I think the first thing I would say, just to combat another bit of FUD that I've seen, is that WorldMobile is not running on Cosmos, and it's simply just using the Cosmos SDK Sidekit toolkit, and it's very similar to the one that IOG has released for Cardano sidechains. There is caveats and differences in there. Obviously, the question will come on, why didn't WorldMobile use that one? I would assume because it's just in testnet itself. It's not released per se. So that would be my only guess. We might have to ask the WorldMobile guys why, but I would say it's to do with roadmap and timing. Any other advice for EarthNode operators is have a read of some of the Cosmos SDK and Tendermint documentation. You Google any of it and you'll see, and try and look into the architecture of how that's set up. Review the installation scripts and the properties files, and make sure that you're taking a backup of everything once you've done an installation. Not too bad on the public testnet, it's fine. You will want to keep your node information, and it's sort of part of your branding and their naming. You want the same name coming across into mainnet. And, it's also keeping that secure. We're going to need to do a bit more investigation and keeping keys and stuff secure, and working all that out. But we're early days. Maybe there's someone from WorldMobile or even a community member will come up with an encryption process that's sort of needed for those files. But apart from that, it's pretty straightforward, and it's a fun thing to do, and it's good when you get it going. And I would recommend your Grafana setups for monitoring. Plus, also another piece that's quite easy to do is Telegram connectivity between Grafana and your node. So if anything happens to your node, you'll get a message, you get an alert. So I'd recommend all those things. It might take people a bit of time getting all those bits and pieces together. Once you've done it once and taken good enough notes, it should be fine and no problem. Anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. Plus, I'm always in the Discord as well as everybody else who's helping in there.
Awesome. Alex, what about yourself?
people want to be more technical and they like this kind of things, definitely like Paddy said, just go and read. There is no association with Cosmos. Yes, Cosmos has the Atom, and I know people are putting the two together, but they're not. The framework is there, and definitely there is a different consensus algorithm. There is different things. There will be, we have 1,000 Earth nodes. So basically you're looking at 1,000 validators. So to scale that up, we have the public testnet now. That's a secondary chain to the private testnet. So those are two different chains. And as far as I understand, now they're not communicating. So I guess the future goal for the team will be how to make the connection and communication between the two. And I'm pretty sure there is even a third testnet with only WorldMobile team that they're doing a bunch of different things there that we're not even aware of. But a suggestion for Earth node operators: do everything you can to break it. Learn as much as you can so we can help others. Because out of the 1,000, if 200 are very technical savvy, I mean, still you have 800 people that, or some will learn multiple ones, but you have roughly 500-600 more people that need some assistance. And having like only someone like 51 or one member from the WorldMobile team to answer all these questions, it will be extremely tough to do. We're here to help as well. Like Paddy said, there will be documentation coming out as well from WorldMobile team ourselves. We're gonna add a lot to that. And lastly, what I wanted to say is that have faith in the process. There is a reason why not everybody was onboarded. And I can see that. Like, even I had the question and I had to wait 24 hours to get a response. So, I mean, I understand that having onboarding like 200, 300 people at a time, like, it can be sustained. It can be like everybody would have an issue and then go figure it out and go fix it. It's not that easy.
So we will have quite a few links down below in the description so people can go and read on their own time. I just want to say, Paddy and Alex, you gave us a lot of information today. I know that if anybody will have more questions, and I'm pretty sure that will be the case, they will be able to find you on the public testnet, on the Discord chat, on the WorldMobile Discord server. There is a public testnet Discord chat that everybody can go and get in touch with Paddy, Alex, of course, 51, Nico, and all the other amazing Earth node operators that have been on the closed testnet and have broken a lot of things so far, have learned quite a few things and have a little bit of more experience and can definitely help out the rest of the community. Guys, thank you so much for all the insights that you gave us. I learned a lot, and I have been following everything on a daily basis. So this is always a good thing for us to, have a lot of information for the community. We do get a lot of questions on a daily basis. So I think this part two, actually gave a good picture, painted the picture a lot better for all of us. And obviously we will have part 3, part 4. We will see you again. I will be bugging you to get you on a call and get more information from both of you. Any last thoughts, Paddy?
I would say I would throw challenges out to the community to within the Cardano sphere. We have a lot of people who build tools for helping monitoring or setting up or dealing with nodes and all that. I'd love to see the same type of thing kicking off within the Earth node operators. Maybe similar. We have guild tools for Cardano. Maybe something similar where there be a kind of collective of people working on scripts that can be quite useful. I'd love to see that kick off. That would be my challenge to everyone. So if anyone wants to start it, then I'd happily contribute. I think that would be awesome.
Thank you, Paddy. Alex?
Don't go for crazy specs at this point, and I know there's lots of questions that I'm getting as well from different Earth node operators. What kind of specs do I need? Like, what is it that, like, do I need to invest on something? Do I go cloud? For now, really, if you go cloud, all you need is like 4 gigs of memory, 2 core CPU. That's it. Like, you can do You can do the installation. You can have your monitoring tools there. If you can avoid InfluxDB when it comes to the monitoring, I know that takes more resources. So if you go the minimum in a server, in a cloud environment, it's going to cost you about 20, 30 US a month. So, I mean, it's not terrible. If you have a spare machine that you're not using and you want to get familiar with Linux and all that stuff, that's great as well. Yeah, try to avoid InfluxDB. There are more monitoring tools out there, and I know Nico is working on one.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for all the info you gave us. And I'm looking forward for a part 3 or part 4 with you. Thanks again.